So the drivers now making their way out onto the circuit. Here is your starting order. Decided by just 2/1000ths of a second in qualifying. Robert Schopian starts on pole position and alongside will be Jana Stier. 477 and 444. Row 2, it's Mika Metz in the 464 and Fabian Bock in the 481. Row 2. Row 3, Yannick Jacobs in the 401 and the 439 of Lawrence Seyfried. Row 4, it is Florian Breitenbach in the 433 and Hans Borber in the 468. Row 5 completing the top 10 Dennis team in the 454 and Mark Bartels in the 488. Leon Arndt in the 442 and Tristan Gebhardt in the 405. Row number 7 is Marcel Steinert in the 413 and Stender in the 409. Alex Fielenbach in the 431 will start 15th. Looks like Denis Chelal could be starting from the pre-grid, depending on what has been decided. It was a late entry because there are specific times when the dummy grid is open. Chalal's car came in right to the death, like literally as it actually came in just before the race time starts. So a few minutes too late, I'm afraid, but they may have given him special dispensation to go racing. However, through the final corner into the tram lines, revs right. Are we ready? We are green, and it's a by Schopian. Stier tries to go towards the inside, but then all of a sudden Mika Metz rolls in there like a bull to get through into second position early doors. Yannick Jacobs has got ahead of Fabian Bock for fourth position as they head through turn number 3 for the first time. Into the next right-hander at 4 that brings them into the straight chicane here. Into the next left. Fabian Bock being pressurised by Lawrence Seyfried. That is for 5th on the road. As there for the lead, that's gone rather quickly. Mika Metz has hit the front. Jana Stier coming under fire from Yannick Jacobs, who's got Fabian Bock and Lawrence Seyfried just behind. Oh, and Bock just tangles with the back bumper of Jacobs. That could possibly get him a front fairing penalty if he's not careful, because that nearly opened the door for Lawrence Seyfried to get through. Metz is leading. Schopian, Jana Stier, Yannick Jacobs. Robert Schopian wants to get past. He's absolutely hell-bent on taking back that lead. He got that pole position fair and square in qualifying earlier on today. 8 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock still to go, plus an additional lap. Mika Metz has hit the front, and he's done it early. He got it done in the first lap. There's the move for third place. Yannick Jacobs up the inside of Jana Stier for P3. Here comes Fabian Bock and also Lawrence Seyfried. The eyes of Florian Breitenbach. Bock now sends it up the inside. That opens the door. Stier runs wide. And oh my goodness me, she ends up in front of Hannes Border, who gets compromised. And then all of a sudden, Dennis Steen goes up the inside of the 468 to now take 8th position. So Bartels managing to capitalise there. There's the battle for what is now second on the road. Robert Schopian being caught hand over fist by Yannick Jacobs. Yannick Jacobs has shown good pace this season, but his results haven't reflected the pace of the 401. 8 minutes to go plus an additional lap, and there's the move. That's a brilliant send and a half, and nice and neatly composed by Yannick Jacobs. The 401 on the Tony Kart chassis bit. Schopian sideways as he sends it back up the inside and all clashes wheels. And there goes Fabian Bock. Here comes Lawrence Seyfried. And also back in this is now Florian Breitenbach. Oh, Schopian's run wide out of the final corner. Robert Schopian has gone from bad to worse, coming out of the final corner on the completion of lap number 3. And where is Schopian? Nowhere to be seen in the top 10, I fear. No, right down to the tail end Charlie of the field. That was not what he wanted, not what he needed. And I'm sure that after pole position, it was going from hero to zero, but possibly not at, well, it might have been slightly at a little bit of his own making, but it has changed everything, because now Lawrence Seyfried is in third position behind Yannick Jacobs. Ahead of Fabian Bock, Florian Breitenbach, Hannes Border, Jana Stier is now ahead of Mark Bartels in the 488. But this is going to get rather messy rather quickly. If they don't watch their P's and Q's, cross the T's, dot the I's, as they say. 6 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Mika Metz has stormed off into the lead by 2.6 seconds. Why am I not surprised? But everything else is kicking off behind, because Yannick Jacobs has lost out to Lawrence Seyfried and Fabian Bock. Janek Jacobs now drops to 4th position. Florian Breitenbach in P5 ahead of Hannes Bodde, Janis Stier, and Marcel Steinert. We know that he's not always great in qualifying, but he does do well in the racing, and he is already up into P10. Make that P9 now, because I think he's just got past Dennis Team in the 4.54. So it's getting a bit unneat and tidy, and Florian Breitenbach on the right-hand side of Janek Jacobs. Both one car mounts the other, and it causes a concertina effect like you wouldn't believe. Hannes Bodde now up into 4th place. Mark Bartels, and as a result of that, Marcel Steinert from P13 on the road up to P6. That section of corners here at the final part of the track here at Wittgenborn has caught many a driver out, and it's just caught out Florian Breitenbach of all people. And he's collected Janek Jacobs as a direct consequence of it, because they were battling for a position for 4th and 5th respectively. You see a gap, you're going to go for it, right? As there's a new move being that has just happened. Tim Stender's got past Leon Arndt. Around the outside has gone Tristan Gebhardt. So Gebhardt's also done a number. There's Alex Fielenbach from FD Motorsport on the Paralin chassis. He's not too far behind that battle. Here's the battle for 2nd position. Two young chargers in terms of the age parity of this field. Florian Seifried and Fabian Bock in their late, they're both very, very credible drivers. They've both raced in road stacks for many a year. Lawrence Seifried has returned after a bit of a racing absence. He's been doing a lot of mechanicking. That's what a lot of drivers in karting do. Sometimes they will go in mechanic for other drivers. Lawrence Seifried has done that with a couple of teams across the way. But he's now with FM Racing. But also, the interesting thing is Seifried's gone with another chassis. He's gone with the EOS chassis. And it's proving to pay dividends for him at the moment, because it's keeping Fabian Bock at bay on the Sony kart. So 2nd and 3rd, last time around, was separated by 2/10. So Mika Metz leading by nearly 3.3 seconds. We've got 4 minutes and a quarter still to go in the race. Guess is as good as mine. Who is going to be the one that is going to be happy at the end of this race? Because now there's quite a few other things that are going on in the distance, away from whoever is leading the race itself. It has got rather interesting over the last 6.5 minutes. We still have 3 minutes and 30 to go, plus an additional lap. And if I'm very much not mistaken, Lawrence Seifried has pulled a gap over Fabian Bock. That's a great turn of speed. So Seifried having decided to switch to a different chassis, that's made it work for him. So that's really good to see that Seifried punching at the front of the field. 3 minutes to go plus an additional lap. Still anyone's guess as to what is happening here, but this battle for 2nd and 3rd, keep your eyes on Hannes Bodde, because Hannes Bodde has gone quicker than the two in front. He's gone quicker by nearly a 10th over Fabian Bock, by less than half a 10th on Lawrence Seifried. So Hannes Bodde could be chipping away at what could be a lead that needs to be decimated. A bang and the gap is gone, as they say. So Mika Metz 3.6 seconds up the road, and if you're not talking much about leader, he's doing a damn fine job, and that's exactly what Mika Metz is doing right now. Lawrence Seifried in 2nd, Fabian Bock in 3rd, Hannes Bodde in 4th, ahead of Mark Bartels. Alex Fielenbach, unfortunately, has pulled the kart into the pit and is now no longer part of this race, I'm afraid. So down to 15 runners and riders we go. We're into the last couple of minutes of this race, the first of 2 heats. The provisional starting time is 6:05 p.m. here at Wittgenborn. reflecting on this particular race so far, Mika Metz just got into the lead and just started to canter away into the distance. Tim Stender battling away with Janusz Stier. That is for 8th position on the road, but there is your race leader. Mika Metz has a lot of support on his social media platforms, particularly on Facebook. But now Fabian Bock starting to wind up the wick on that 481 Tony Kart chassis. Voigt Motorsport colours closing in on Lawrence Seyfried for 2nd position. 60 on the clock remains, and in the meantime, I did say keep your eyes on Hannes Border. Hannes Border has closed up considerably. So now it is all down to who wants it the most. Is it going to be Fabian Bock? Is it going to be Lawrence Seyfried? Who is going to get the best of each other as we head into the last 35 seconds? Next time around, it more than likely will be the final lap board for Mika Metz, the 464, running on the Kart Republic chassis. He has been untouchable, especially in Kerpen, just back in late August of this year. We've had to wait 6 weeks for this opportunity as Seyfried takes a look over his right shoulder to see where Fabian Bock is. So the timer hits 0. We are now onto the penultimate lap. Oh! So that means we'll have 15 laps completed at the end of this race. Good thing from that perspective is that Mika Metz can stretch out that gap even slightly further still. That's exactly what he's done. So Fabian Bock now knows that the timer has run out. He'll have one more lap, just over 1 kilometre to go, because he'll want to try and get one up on Lawrence Seyfried in the dying stages. But there is Hannes Border. Hannes Border has closed that gap to just over 0.58 of a second. Final lap board is out. There is Mika Metz going through your shot as we speak. Not a mark on that Kart Republic chassis. To the next right-hander that brings him into the mid-part, but then the battle a little bit further back that I'm more interested in. There it is. 2nd, 3rd and 4th position. Still being led by Lawrence Seyfried. Seyfried still has the advantage, and he's got a gap of nearly 0.3 of a second over Fabian Bock. Hannes Border a further, probably the best part of, what is it, just over half a second. Mika Metz, comfortable, consistent and dominant. A win by nearly 4 seconds at the end of 15 laps. Lawrence Seyfried holds on to take 2nd position from Fabian Bock. Hannes Border takes 4th ahead of Mark Bartels. Marcel Stein at 13th to 6th place at the end of 15 laps of racing. Ahead of Dennis Thiem, Tim Stender, Janusz Stier, Leon Arndt, Tristan Gebhardt. Roy Schopian would only be able to recover up to 12th position following Breitenbach, who had an incident with Yannick Jacobs earlier on. Denny Schalau, the last of the 15 runners and riders that finished the race, but unfortunately on lap number 8, Alex Fielenbach from FD Motorsport retired.